I, 23 female, reunited with a high school ex, 25 male, after I achieved my bachelor's. Before this happened, my now husband was living with a girlfriend at the time. He admitted to having a lot of money troubles, which she covered for a lot. The short story is his car broke down, and she helped pay for repairs along with picking up his share of the rent a few times. We rekindled quickly and eloped a few months into our relationship. We now have a child who's in daycare while both of us work. Our apartment is super crammed, so I discussed purchasing a home. My parents are helping with my school loan, so this would all be on us. We discussed proper budgeting and other ways to save up when he admitted he was trying to save some money to repay his ex for the car repairs. Things unraveled into a messy fight. In my opinion, my husband has felt guilty for moving on so quickly from this girl when we got back together, and he wants to repair the damage he caused. It's not really about the money. He talks with a therapist about it, but no change. I told him buying a house along with our child is now the number one priority, not this girl. He left and hasn't come back home. He says he needs some time. I left to let my mom and friends know what was happening to hear their thoughts. Mom sided with me, but my friends have suggested it is the right thing for him to do. The girl's fine, so I guess I don't get the point of paying her back almost 2 years later. Am I the idiot for not wanting my husband to pay his ex back thousands of dollars? But he's trying to do this to resolve some guilt. Edit. Let's say that's how their breakup happened. Does that actually impact the situation? Maybe they just broke up. Maybe he cheated. Either way, he and I are married now and have a kid and need to consider money. Yes, he has a moral obligation, but he also has an obligation towards us. So he cheated on her while he was mooching off her? What a prince. He owes her the money, so we should pay her back. His child should be the priority, but part of that is teaching good moral lessons, like paying someone back when you take advantage of them and take money from them. It's not like you'll be homeless. It'll just take a bit longer to buy a home. You are the idiot, OP. He cheated, and still he seems to be the more decent one in this relationship. His going to a therapist suggests that he may be going through something. The fact that the therapist told him to pay his debts back to her could mean he feels guilty about something between the two. Also, if they rekindled after OP completed her bachelor's, things did move really fast. She's 23 now, likely graduated at 21 at the earliest, assuming a 3-year degree, and they've had time to rekindle, elope, and produce a child? Man, he did the poor girl dirty. I'm assuming the elopement was a shotgun wedding due to an unplanned pregnancy, and that the pregnancy was the cause of the breakup from the ex-girlfriend. This is probably why the husband is in therapy for the breakup. Even if there wasn't active sneaking around behind her back, one minute he was struggling financially, and his girlfriend was picking up his slack to the tune of thousands for his car repairs and rent, which in itself implies she felt their relationship was stable and committed. And the next minute, he dumped her to rekindle with OP? Talk about whiplash for that poor woman. This guy cheated on this girl who was financially supporting him with OP, and now OP thinks he shouldn't pay her back. Oh, I'm sorry. He should pay her back when they're stable. Considering the amazing life choices you two make, I'm sure that financial stability will be coming very soon. You are the idiot. She lent him thousands of dollars. She could and should sue the crap out of him. My fiance, 35 male, recently proposed, and he got me a sterling silver ring from Walmart when he went there to get his nephew a kid's party costume. He even gave me the receipt so I could return or exchange it if it's not one I liked. He makes good money, as do I, and he got me a ring that's less than 2 hours of his wage, post-tax. Meanwhile, for his birthday, I got him something 10 times more expensive than he got for my engagement ring. He routinely buys toys and gadgets more expensive. I said I was offended, and he would have made me less angry if he just proposed with a ring pop. The dude went out and got a ring pop the next day. Not only did he go cheap, he didn't even find out my style or what I liked. He asked if I was seriously considering refusing the proposal just because of the ring, and I was being that type of girl. Do you think I'm the idiot for caring how cheap he went and how little effort he put into the ring he expects me to wear my entire life? P.S. I do buy my own jewelry, and yes, they're almost all more expensive than this. Everyone's the idiot here. While a cheap ring is not necessarily a problem, what's more important is that he didn't even try to find out what you liked and called you that kind of girl. I wouldn't want to marry someone who says stuff like that to me. The only thing uglier than the ring is his reaction to you expressing your disappointment. That being said, people nowadays have over-the-top expectations of what an engagement ring should cost. It's insane. A cheap engagement ring is fine as long as it's something you like. Plus, you can still upgrade if it's that important. I disagree. The dude's 35, makes good money, routinely buys expensive crap, and his proposal ring is from Walmart? If he was poor and doing his best, that's one thing. But less than 2 hours' wages, and even less thought put into it than that? Is this a joke? A test? What the heck? And why is he testing her if he's already decided he wants to spend the rest of his life with her? That's almost insulting. I'm guessing the actual proposal wasn't anything noteworthy either. Did he just roll over in bed and say, "Hey babe, want to get married?" The test works both ways because now he's shown OP he's that kind of man, LOL. Is he prepping for a breakup maybe? Forcing your hand in a way? Based on his actions and his vocabulary, accusing you of being that type of woman, it sounds like he's setting the scene, making you the bad guy. I say that because he can't truly be that dense. In my opinion, there's nothing wrong with a cheap ring, as long as the effort is there. And it sounds like you're not convinced by his effort. Neither am I. I'm speaking as a divorced woman who's experienced men cheaping out and being inconsiderate like this. There's a difference between buying cheap because it's in line with what you both want and what both your values are, and buying cheap because you just don't care about your partner. Your fiancé is the latter. You deserve so much more than this, and I suggest you rethink marrying this man. There's a 99% chance it ends in divorce. My 27 female stepkids go to a boarding school 10 miles from our home that allows for both day students and students who board there. My husband, this is before he met me, switched them from day students to boarding there 2 years ago when his late wife was dying from cancer. He's a doctor, so it was a cruel mockery of all he was to have to watch his wife spend the last year of her life in excruciating pain. When the last months came, my husband had all but emotionally wasted away, and school administration helped transition my stepkids, male teen and female tween, from being day students to boarding school students. They were furious at him for having done that at first, and when my husband and I started dating, sometimes he put the phone on speaker, and I'd hear the bitterness from both kids about being away from home. But then time passed and the complaints mercifully stopped. I understand that I have to earn their respect and trust, and I am willing to wait as long as I need to get that. However, I've seen texts to their dad where they've said it's hard to respect me, and I can't help but think that their living situation is to blame. If they're away from home and calling the other boarding students quasi-siblings, and their dorm parent a beloved aunt and therapist rolled into one, they have no incentive to not emotionally detach from their family at home. I recently found out I was pregnant. However, now that we're married with a child on the way, my husband has said he'll defer to me regarding family matters. I was raised in a Catholic family where frugality is important. My mom always said, just because an expense wouldn't make a dent in your bank account doesn't mean you should spend that money if it's unnecessary. My husband does have money. He's owned pain clinics for years and recently opened up a medical spa. However, just because we have the money doesn't mean we should continue to pay for the boarding school. My husband has finished grieving and wants to look towards the future as a united family. So I said that my stepkids should move back in with us. The boarding school thing was supposed to be temporary. We would save a whole lot of money. And in my experience, the bonding I did with my siblings came from helping care for them. I told my husband this, and he agreed. We spoke with the school administration to figure out what we needed to do. My stepkids were furious, saying that they had found a safe place with their classmates, and this was not our decision. My husband told them he agreed, and it was time to come home. They accused him of abandoning them and then changing his mind when they finally felt their boarding school was home to them. They then turned on me and snapped that I was overstepping my boundaries. My husband interjected and said to apologize for their disrespect, and I had a right to input about our family. Am I the idiot? This isn't just about money. This is about family and wanting them to bond with their new sibling. You are the idiot. Your stepkids have been disregarded every step of the way. They're hurt and feel betrayed and deserted, and now you're heaping on it by once again ignoring their wishes and wants. You want to uproot their entire lives just because you find frugality important. In other words, you put adhering to an arbitrary value above the well-being of the kids. You want the kids to bond with and help care for their new step-sibling. Seems to me you only want cheap babysitters and maybe some playthings for your own kid. You're an idiot, and your husband is too for deserting his kids and not opposing this stupid idea. It's weird how OP didn't care about frugality until she got pregnant. She didn't care about frugality until she thought about daycare cost and wanting free in-home help. Honestly, she isn't entirely wrong in that she hasn't been able to bond with them because they're in boarding school, but she didn't care about that until she saw how they could benefit her. Exactly. I doubt she's met them while dating their dad, engaged or married to their dad. They've been at a boarding school all year and every year since before their mom died. They didn't get to see their mom at all. Probably didn't go to the funeral if there was one, let alone a memorial service, and were just left at the school. My hunch would be that OP was an employee in one of the clinics. OP's only 12 years older than the eldest child. It is telling that she didn't state her husband's age as well. Well, their scumbag father is an opioid dealer, pain management doctor, so of course he's rolling in money. Oh wait, Ms. Cruella de Gold Digger is frugal, so I'm sure the millions he's earned over the years pushing Oxy onto unsuspecting construction workers and car accident victims have absolutely nothing to do with why she's attracted to an idiot who abandoned his children at boarding school and left his cancer-stricken wife to die alone while he screwed around with good old Catholic girls like her. You are the idiot, OP. You're a real piece of work. Those kids both are going to hate you even more. My brother and sister-in-law had been married for 10 years, and I love them dearly. My sister-in-law's been in a wheelchair since childhood due to a car accident that left her paralyzed from the waist down. She's an incredible person, and I consider her like a sister. A few days ago, they told our family that she was 2 months pregnant. I got worried because I know that pregnancy can be very risky for women with disabilities. I've read that they're more likely to experience complications like preeclampsia, blood clots, urinary tract infections, premature birth, and the need for a cesarean section. Additionally, they might have difficulty sensing contractions, pushing during labor, and caring for the baby after birth. I tried expressing my concern to my brother, but he got a bit offended and said I was disregarding their choice. He mentioned they had planned this pregnancy for a long time and were prepared to face the challenges. He said that they have the support of her family, friends, and doctors, and they'll provide all the care the baby needs. I didn't want to hurt them, but I think they're being irresponsible and selfish. They're putting my sister-in-law's and the baby's lives at risk to fulfill the desire for a biological child. They could have adopted, but they chose to risk it all. We haven't spoken since, and they're very upset with me. My mother called me, saying I was very insensitive and should apologize. My husband agrees that I should apologize too. However, I feel like I was just being honest and realistic. Am I the idiot? Since you like Dr. Google so much, I put your symptoms in, and the result came back as, you are the idiot. There's no cure, but Dr. Google said one way to ensure this affliction doesn't get any worse would be to mind your own business. Jesus, OP, Your sister-in-law is a full-grown adult. Stop infantilizing her. I hate to break it to you, but she did play a part in getting pregnant. The ableism is astounding here. She's not wheelchair-bound. She uses a wheelchair. You somehow know more about her risk, conditions, etc. than she could, and somehow your brother is responsible for her, not herself? Many disabled women have healthy, happy pregnancies and births, just with different care than others may require. How dare you think you know better than they do? Apologize, then shut up and mind your own business. Plus, they mentioned that their brother said they have the support of her doctors. It sounds like this decision was carefully considered, and they talked to the best people about it, versus OP, who's read some information from God knows where and decided that they know best. Not to mention that pregnancy can be dangerous or even fatal for able-bodied women, but I'm guessing OP doesn't usually fuss about that. Nah, clearly OP knows more about her sister-in-law's health than her doctors. What do they know? They've just gone to school for nearly a decade and have personally examined and gone over everything with sister-in-law. So that's nothing compared to OP and her WebMD degree. She has the power of Google. Nothing knows more than a random Google search. Oh, honey, did you just arrive on Earth? Are you a doctor? More specifically, are you her doctor? They have planned the pregnancy and are more aware of what risk may or may not be involved. You're not an obstetrician. Your fears, based on very, very incomplete information, overwhelmed you, and you overreacted badly. Apologize as soon as possible and never bring it up again. Honestly, you should be embarrassed. Why, oh why, is there so often an overlap between loud and dumb? My girlfriend is a real homebody, and she doesn't really enjoy doing outdoor activities often. Every other week or so, I like to take the weekend to go camping on my own, because there are some great views to see where we live. So I usually head out around Saturday morning and drive a few hours out to a campsite, spend the night camping, ride my dirt bike down some trails the next day, and return home around 5 to 6 the next day. So this weekend, I was packing my bags to head out on Saturday, and my girlfriend asked me, "What do you even do out there?" I told her what I do, and she said, "That can't be all you do. That seems so boring. Don't you go to a restaurant or something?" I told her, "Nah, that's really all I do when I head out." And she didn't believe me, so she wanted to tag along with me on this weekend's trip. I told her that I didn't want her to come with me since I knew she wouldn't enjoy herself and be miserable. And also I like it because it lets me disconnect, and bringing people along with me kind of defeats the purpose. She got sad since she assumed I was only doing it so I could spend time away from her, which isn't true, and she refuses to believe me now. You are the idiot. You go regularly. What's the harm in bringing her for one trip? If she doesn't like it, she'll leave you to it. If she does, well, you've just unlocked a cool new hobby for your partner, which you can share. You can still take alone trips if that's important to you, by agreeing when and where, but deciding for your girlfriend that she won't like it and stopping her from joining you is a bit of an idiot move. Let her figure that out for herself. Yes, exactly. Like, at least try it out for once with her if she's asking to come. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if the girlfriend thinks OP is cheating on her. He goes away every other weekend alone, and then when she asks to come, he comes up with a bunch of flimsy excuses as to why she can't. That would be triggering alarm bells for me. This OP. Bring her. Let her see for herself. Make sure she has warm stuff to be comfortable in, good shoes and things, a book she's been wanting to read, a crochet project to occupy her time. It might be good to introduce her to the quiet and see what she thinks of it. So, no idiots here, but I think you could have tried a little harder to explain it.